Welcome to the Mythical Cavern. It is Tarot Thursday here at the Mythical Cavern, and we are actually back here in the Mythical Cavern after our field trip to my backyard on Magical Monday. So today, for Tarot Thursday, we are going to actually start exploring some of the cards. We're going to do the first half of the Major Arcana. Last week we went over all of the cards briefly, explaining the difference between Major and Minor Arcana, and today we are going to start our series of going on the Fool's Journey. So we're going to start with the Fool's card, and we're going to work our way through card number 10, which is the Wheel of Fate. Before we do that, I just want to give you a few books, so if you want to follow along and maybe get some other perspectives from what I might be sharing with you on the cards, or if you want to jump ahead and read all of the cards, the Kitchen Table Tarot is a really good book. I really like this one, and it explains all the different cards, and it's very modern, and it's funny, and it's a really good book. And then if you want to know how to do different spreads, this is my spreads book, 122 cards, layouts, and it's really good book for every kind of question or reading that you may want to do. So today for our thing, we are going to do the traditional Rider-Waite cards. I know last week we went into the Witch's Tarot cards, but we are going to go through the Rider-Waite original cards for the next few weeks as we go through the Major and Minor Arcanas. But like I said, let's grab a drink, grab a snack, and get started in the first 11 cards of the Major Arcana. So our first card is the Fool. And the Fool can be card 0 or it can be card 22. But it is called the Fool's Journey, and you can follow along on the Fool's Journey. Lots of sites have it and explain the Fool's Journey, but we're going to do a brief explanation of the cards. They call it the Fool's Journey because if you follow the Fool, it will make sense as you go on the journey through the Major Arcana. So the Fool, when we look at it, it's the court jester, the Joker, standing on what looks like the edge of a cliff, and he looks like he's gonna just dance or waltz right off that cliff, but we don't know how far that cliff is. So it's not really that far of a cliff because he's the beginning of our journey, so it's really just a step in the direction. It's a step in the path, and if you look, he's facing left in the Rider-Waite deck. So when the Fool is facing left, what that signifies is that this is not a normal path. This is not the path that he would normally choose. Normally we would choose the right path. Normally we would go down the path that we perceive to be the right path. This one, he's going left. He's going left and taking a step in a different direction. Okay, so moving along on our Fool's Journey, we come across the first card, which is the Magician, and the second card, which is the High Priestess. These are two of the most controversial cards in the deck. The reason they are controversial is because super religious people do not like these two cards. Magicians are bad. Magicians are evil. The High Priestess is, of course, the leader of the Witches' Coven. So of course, that would mean these are evil cards. That is not true. There is no evil in tarot. There is no evil cards. It's just about perception. And if this was ancient Greece, this magician would be Zeus, and this High Priestess would be Aphrodite. So it's really what you want to make of it. But what they represent is energy. They represent masculine energy as the Magician and feminine energy as the High Priestess. And the masculine and feminine energy everybody has, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender, everybody has masculine energy and feminine energy, and they help guide us on our paths. And they help us guide us in any of our paths. And so that's why they are the first two cards in the major arcana, the Magician and the High Priestess. So moving along, we come to cards 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is the Empress and the Emperor. The Empress and the Emperor, if the Fool was us and we're heading on our path, this would be our mother and our father. The Empress is the mother card. She's actually pregnant, and she's very nurturing, she's protective. She's the one who's going to help us by thinking that we are doing such great things on our journey because she's our mother. And then this card number 4 is the Emperor. And like we talked about in the Power of 4 a couple weeks ago on Magical Monday, 4 is foundation. And so the Emperor is foundation. The Emperor is the father card. The Emperor is the one who's gonna be a little bit more of the tough love than the mother, but still loves us just the same because he's our father card. So that's the Empress and the Emperor. Card number 5 is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is the High Priest in the Witch's Tarot, as we went over last week. And he is the high member of the church. And so this is our card of faith. This is our card that says that what you're doing is in good faith. So whenever you see the Hierophant in a reading, it means that you can make that decision in good faith, or whatever it is blessed, it is in good faith. Think of it as your church card. Number 6 is the Lover's card. And the thing about the Lover's card is that we have to think about the Lover's card as a honeymoon phase. So in the honeymoon phase, you can't get enough of each other. So you're in a really good place. If you have this in a reading, it means that you're in a really good place, but that there's still work to be done to make sure that that relationship doesn't fizzle out, that those lovers don't break up, that there's, not a divorce, but a really good marriage. So that is what the Lovers is about. It is about that honeymoon phase. It's about celebrating right now your victories, but there's still work to be done, and don't lose sight of that, and know that even a good thing can fizzle out without hard work. Number 7 is the Chariot card. And the Chariot card is a really interesting card because it means movement without pulling the reins. There are no reins to pull on this card. The Chariot is being pulled in all sorts of directions. And some of it is going to be a lot of gray area because black and white make gray. And if you look, the Sphinx pulling the Chariot are black and white. So remember that this is a movement card. It's the first movement card of the major arcana, and that it just means that it is time to go. You're heading in the right direction, and do not pull back. So number 8 is the Strength card. And strength is pretty self-explanatory in that word. But if you look at the imagery of the number 8 card, of the Strength card, it's a woman and a very tame lion. And she's looking in the lion's mouth, and he's letting her. He is as sweet as a brand new kitten. You would not be able to think of it as the lion that's, the king of the jungle. You don't see the lion looking like a very fierce Mufasa, protecting Simba in this card. But it's kind of like the story of David and the lion in the Bible. And when he defeated the lion before he went against Goliath, he needed that strength. And that's really what the Strength card is. It is about taming our inner lions. It's about facing our fears. It's about facing those large obstacles and finding that inner strength to do so. Number 9 is the Hermit card. And the Hermit card is this old man, and he's holding his lantern, and he's kind of, into himself. And it doesn't mean that he's lonely. It just means that he wants to be alone with his own thoughts. And that's really what the Hermit is about. If you think of like the hermit crab, they go into their shell. And so it's about finding that inner peace with yourself and finding that time to be alone with your thoughts. And that right now might not be the time to share a decision that you're wanting to share with somebody, or right now might not be the time to do something along those lines. Like if I'm doing a reading and this comes up, it may actually mean that I have no idea. It could come out of nowhere in a reading, and it could mean that it's not my place as the reader to share with them, because they need to figure it out for themselves, because they need to go into their inner shell and figure it out. And that is the Hermit. The final card tonight is the Wheel of Fortune. And just like the game show Wheel of Fortune, you don't know if this is a good card or a bad card. It could go either way. It's a wheel of fate. It's a wheel of fortune. So you could go bankrupt, or you could win $1 million. It really just depends on where it falls in the spread and what the surrounding cards are telling you when this comes up in a reading. So it is the 10th card in the tarot, but it is the Wheel of Fortune. So that was the first 10 cards plus the Fool. And so the first 11 cards of the tarot that I wanted to go through tonight. And then next week we will be going through the next 11 cards. There are 22 cards in the major arcana, so we'll do the next 11 cards next week. And then after that we will travel into the minor arcana, and we'll probably break those into suits, so it will be a little bit quicker. And we'll just go through those, and then we may take a break from tarot and go to numerology or astrology. I haven't decided yet which one. So if you would like to have input, then please comment on the video. And like always, please comment, like, share, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and come to our website at mythicalcavern.com and purchase some cards for yourself and start exploring for yourself. And we will talk to you on Monday for Magical Monday, and next Thursday for another round of Tarot Thursday. Love and light. Bye.